We want to show you our complete setup of how we carry our bikes, but guess what? We switched back to electric bikes.
What? This is everything you've ever wanted to know about hauling electric bikes or electric brand bikes, because this is our third e-bike, how we set up the system, why we have a bungee cord, and a whole lot more. Stick around.
These are one of our Amazon finds, little 5x7 bungee cord that you use in the back of a truck bed, typically.
It's a cargo net, basically, and I would love to say that this is our idea, but it's not. We got this from friends of ours. They had the idea of putting the bungee over the top of the bike cover. So first thing we're gonna do is pull this off and explain kind of step-by-step process.
Yeah, and the reason why they use it is that they've lost a bike cover before on the road. Sometimes these get whipped around and they'll break the bike cover. Yeah,
if they get any kind of tears in them, unfortunately, they fall off pretty quick. We had that happen in Nebraska with a boat cover. If we'd have done this, we wouldn't have had that problem. These are just held on with carabiner clips, so nothing special comes with them.
This bike cover came from a recommendation from a friend of ours, and we have the bikes facing opposite direction, and what I love about the bike cover, it's weather resistant and it also has the reflective. So at nighttime, you can definitely see this.
Yeah, which visibility is always a problem when you have these big e-bikes behind there, because you have consideration of where your taillights are at, how big this is. So anything you can do to increase your visibility is going to be a good thing from a safety perspective. This one is Team Obsidian, which is in our Amazon cart. It has been really, really good. I'm shocked at how well it's held up both to UV and many miles on the road.
Yeah, when Chris says Amazon cart, it's in our Amazon store.
It's probably in our cart too.
So to be transparent, we've had this cover for about a year.
Yeah.
So, and the first one we had about a year and a half. It just started kind of getting weathered a little. A lot of travels and salt water from Key West, so we decided to replace it because we wanted new and pretty.
She wanted pretty, y'all. She wanted pretty. Good Lord, I should not have tied this in a knot. If you wonder what I'm fighting with over here, there's a bungee that runs along the bottom.
I was going to say, I just used a key. And underneath it has two clips.
See, there we go. The bungee comes out. It has a bottom strap, which I really like, which is the bungee I just pulled off, and then it has a midline strap here, so you get both. It does a good job of cinching it up, and then the two clips on the bottom, as Martha mentioned here, these keep it from going anywhere. And then it also has holes built into it with a rivet if you want to lock it into place. We haven't done that. We just usually clip it underneath, throw the bungee over, and call it good.
Yeah, and we haven't had any problems with it.
What's that?
Ooh.
New bikes.
I know, it's got that new bike smell.
No, it's got that new bike plastic. It's still on there. All right, one of the things that I'm going to show you as soon as I can get this off here is a modification that we did, which we found is kind of important for our trailer, because the way these big e-bikes sit. This is just a basic pool noodle and a whole lot of duct tape. Yep, I went redneck. But you'll see, I put a hole in the middle here, and I just put this on the handlebar. So this is a double stuffed, so a pool noodle cut in half over the top of another pool noodle cut in half, and then duct taped over it, and then I just put it on the bungee to hold it in place. This protects our back wall here. This is just a felt pad that we have on here, and it's the same thing. The reason is the handlebars get really close to our trailer. So let's go over here. So this is what we're talking about. The e-bikes, when they move, they get really close, and you don't want to have your trailer get damaged from it. So we do the double pool noodle, and then that. Yeah,
it's really nice and secure. So the new Lectric XPeak bikes, these are the mountain bikes. These have fat tires. They're 26-inch fat tires. We actually had to get the spacer for our One-Up USA bike rack, which is rated for heavy duty and for doubles, for RVs.
I think this is either the Super Duty Extreme or Extreme Super Duty, but basically this bike rack is made for much bigger bikes. So we haven't had any issues. We've towed this for thousands of miles across the US so far. But if you look, these are massive tires, and the One-Up bike rack does have an adjustable hitch, so we have that slid all the way out of the receiver as much as possible to give us as much space as we can in the handlebars here. Unfortunately, these bikes are just monstrous, so we don't have a lot of clearance, and I really don't want to move the receiver out any further and create leverage.
So Chris, come on here. We actually take the batteries out because we don't want to travel with them on the back. The batteries weigh about 9 pounds each, so that's 18 additional pounds. So it is rated to carry 300 in the back with the bike hitch, but we don't want to push it to the limit, especially, you know, traveling. We do have independent suspension, but you still get that wiggle, so that's why.
Go ahead and push on the bike. So I'm going to go over here against the edge. This is what Martha's talking about. So when you're traveling down the road, there is 100% going to be wiggle. Now, when you look on the one-up, when she does that, the hitch isn't flexing. We're not having receiver movement. That is literally just the bike rack. So again, if you're going to be carrying anything this big, I would recommend either One-Up USA, which is what we have. The other one that people use is the Hollywood rack.
And we've heard good things about that. We just happened to get this. It was in stock when we bought ours at the time.
Yeah, and by the way, none of this is sponsored. This is literally us just telling you some resources that we use. Now, there's some things we do on here that these are Martha's idea. Let's talk about the puzzles.
All right. So we have these puzzle gym mats. We got them at Costco like a couple years ago. We put them in between so they don't get tangled in to each other, the bikes. We've had instances where maybe it scratched some of the decals.
Yeah, one of the things I will say, this is kind of for the positive on the Lectric, the XPeak bikes, they have a quick release pedal, which is awesome. So you don't have to worry about the bike scratching it. The other brand of bikes that we used to have, the electric brand bikes we had, the pedals didn't come off and it scratched the crap out of Martha's bike.
It did, and we had to take some of those long Velcro straps and strap them in, get them just right. It was a pain. So this design right here, genius.
And then we do put the puzzles on both sides. So we have one in the front, one in the back, and then we just use a simple bungee cord to hold them in place. And again, that's just for wear. We just don't want anything rubbing on anything. We want to make sure it stays in good shape and looks pretty, right?
And we didn't want the puzzle pieces to fly off if it was like banging. It's just the thoughts in my head, I guess.
So there's a couple other things that I want to point out before we tear this apart. You can see the green.
Yep. So these are our bike locks. We've had them for a while. And we have these heavy duty, what are these?
Cables.
Yeah, cables.
They're
cables.
just cables to keep it from theft. We've seen on other YouTube channels where people have had their electric brand bikes or electric bikes in general stolen. And so we are always, you know, real big about safety. You guys know that. So I think they're called Mobus. Read the side of it. What's the name of the brand on the lock?
ABUS.
ABUS.
Yeah.
And we bought those on Amazon. They have been great. There's no problems. They're heavy duty. We run 2 cables, probably overkill, but if you figure if we're double locking it, less likely to have any problems, and good luck stealing it.
Yeah, double locked and interlocked in 2 separate locks.
One of the other things that we did, and again, it's probably just my OCD, y'all, we locked down the back of the bicycle tires. You can see that. So there's a strap that we put. We were told by some friends that on these fat tire bikes, you got to be careful that they can bounce around and come out of the track. We haven't had any problems with that, but we also run the strap back there.
Yes.
All right, let's tear them down and show everybody the bikes.
Let's do it.
You're going to start to see a theme. I'm really particular about tying things down. Thanks, Air Force. That's all your fault. Working as a 2T2. Cargo can't move. So we put a ratchet strap on the inside. So I wrap it around the inside of the frame of the one-up, and then I run it up into the back of the bicycle where it won't wear. And then I run the other side to the bottom of the bicycle here, and it runs underneath. That allows us to get a little bit of downward pressure and just to make sure the bikes don't move. As you can tell, there's no damage to the bike because it's a rubber coated, let's see here, let's pull that out.
Rubber coated hook.
Yeah, it's a rubber coated ratchet strap on both sides. And I just put it on a point that's welded so that it stays in good shape. Don't have to worry about anything falling. But yeah, just a basic ratchet strap. Now the one-ups do have these retaining area, or whatever you want to call them, the arms. You just push that and that's it. That's all there is to hold the bike on. So you have one in the front and one in the rear. You lift the little lever, and then the bike comes right out. The design is awesome. I've been extremely happy with the one-up. The rack has proven to be everything it claimed. They are expensive, but they hold. So this is the XPeak. We're going to talk about these in a minute. Stick around.
I love how he just grabbed my bike down,
Run
two
off.
hands and just ran off with it, but he made it look easy.
Well, there's nothing to it. I want to show that one person can easily do this. So I pulled the front one forward and I leave the back one in place, and all I have to do is push the bike and it'll come right out. And then you just grab the fork in the middle of the bike. Then you can lift it off. Now, this is my XPeak.
We really love this bike rack, and one of the features I love, I'm going to have Chris show, is how easily it gets tucked away.
Well, there's multiple stages to tucked away. We'll talk about tucked away on the actual bike rack. All you have to do is shove that forward. There's nothing special about it. It ratchets in place. Now, underneath here, there's a little screw right there where my hand is. That holds everything in place. So once you pull that screw back, you push this clip forward here, and the bike rack will rotate out of the way and lock in place.
And show us that screw again.
So this is the screw. When you have this out like that, so basically screwed all the way out, it locks this in place, which is what's sitting in the track. This keeps the rack from moving up and down. So you can lock it in place, up or down, and then you can see you have three positions. All the way up, about 45-degree angle, and then, I don't know, we'll call it 15 degrees, but basically three different positions. So I'll show you again. We'll unscrew this, and then this piece right here comes up. Got to get the middle of it. I'm wedging it. Darn user error. There we go. So you push that up, and then the rack comes out and locks in place. And then in order to put the bikes on, you lift this lever here, walk that out, lift the lever here, walk that out, do the same thing on all four. And then when you go to put the bikes back on, literally you just shove it forward on top of the tires as you saw.
All right, should we put it up and away?
Nope, we're leaving it out. Let it be. I am going to put the screw back in place because I want it to retain itself in its position. We've never had this move, but we always make sure that the screw stays in place. Now, if you are interested in the one-up rack, they do have some cool accessories, which we don't own if you don't travel with it on the back of your trailer all the time. There's a rack that you can actually mount this on the wall in like a garage. And then it's kind of neat the way they designed it, because this actually folds up. So you can move, oh, I grabbed the wrong one. You can flip these levers and actually put it straight, and it'll fold up really small on top of itself. Obviously, you can't do that when you're sitting on the back of a trailer.
Okay, one other modification that is a good safety one that we added. The backlight that goes underneath the window.
Oh, yeah, come on over here. So our trailer is set up with a normal 2-inch receiver, which will, like Martha said, it'll hold 300 pounds. It also has a 4 flat, which is this. This is just your standard trailer plug. And we wired the trailer plug into a backup light, no, excuse me, not a backup light, a brake light. This is actually made for pickup trucks, and it adheres below the tailgate of a pickup truck, but we put it underneath our window, and it'll do turn signal left, turn signal right, it'll do brakes, so that when we have the bikes on there, you're not just having these small LED lights here, you also have a full strip across the back window. It goes back to that whole visibility thing. One other thing I will point out that we did, come over here. We put the reflective tape up here. Again, not necessarily something that's required from like a Department of Transportation standard, but we want everybody to be able to see us and be as safe as they can on the road. So by adding a light strip and 2 reflective tapes, we've increased visibility. We use the reflective cover, which works out really well. So, you know, if y'all rear end us, don't tell me we didn't try.
And these little strips we got from Walmart over where they have the mailbox stuff in their tools area. And also too, we put this white cover over it. This is something you would use for like house electronics to hide wires, and it's held up nicely. And
that is in our Amazon shop as well, in our Amazon store. That tracking does a good job of just hiding the wires. We're kind of picky about that. We don't want it hanging out.
Yeah, we don't want it hanging out, being exposed to the elements, and it keeps it safe, and it works great. After Chris and I left Alaska 3 years ago and we started full-time RVing, we're like, we need bikes. We need electric bikes. So we bought the Lectric
Lectric, this brand.
2.0.
And didn't like them, y'all.
We didn't.
You know that. We told you. We didn't like them. The geometry didn't work real well. I crashed Callie flipped her donkey cart.
And when he says crash, I'm going to put that footage up here. He was just pulling into our campsite, and it's not set up for her size doggy bike trailer. Look at that sexy alliance right there. Oh shit! You cut it too wide. Is she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. The tires were too small. The geometry was bad. I was probably going too fast. There's a whole lot of things y'all going to yell at me about. But the short answer is I didn't care for the Lectric 2.0s, so we sold them. And we went to boogie bikes.
Yes.
And boogie bikes were fine. There was nothing wrong with them.
Beach cruiser, e-bikes, they were fine.
Yeah, but it wasn't the style that I liked. Like, I went all black trying to, you know, go with the man card.
Well, with the old school look, retro throwback, it was beautiful. And I had a pretty lavender one.
And there was nothing wrong with the bikes.
And
they were fine.
Then we went back to regular bicycles, Trek bicycles, which we still have because they serve a purpose for us.
Yes, they do.
But Chris and I did RV Unplugged Season 2, not as contestants, and you're going to see these featured on there. And guess what? We fell in love with them. We said if we ever go back to electric, these are the bikes we want.
Yes, we got to ride these XPeaks during the production side of things, and it was awesome. I was absolutely blown away by the fact that these are a mountain bike style, and they 100% are certified to be actually ridden as mountain bikes. Like, there's a no BS suspension, heavy duty shocks, forks, everything's robust. Yeah. We were impressed.
Yeah, and we're planning our trip back to Alaska next summer. It was supposed to be this summer, but work and stuff came up. But anyway, but these are the bikes we're going to bring to Alaska with us. You know, fat tire bikes are popular up there, and there's a reason why. You have all the mountains, all the terrain out there, the last frontier. Yeah. These are the bikes we're taking.
So we're going to go test these out, beat the heck out of them. And when I say test out, I'm not joking, y'all. We just got them. Plastic's still on there.
Yeah, we have plastic still on here. The headlamps.
We're going to put them together real quick. We're going to go test them, go beat them up, and we're going to let you know what we think. Stick around.
As I mentioned earlier, we travel with the battery out, so we're going to show you how to put the battery in.
And when I say it's a big MFer, I'm not joking. So there's all you have to do is just come in. I'm trying to do it this side so you can see. You just put the bottom in first, and then get the stupid fork out of the way, and then push it in place. That's it. And then I'll just make sure the waterproof cover, which is where you charge it, is closed. So that's.
And there's a lever right here or a little button that you push.
But you got to have the key to get it out. So Lectric did a good job of setting this up where it's in the down tube so that the battery is integrated into the bike and it's out of the way. The other thing they did I really like is they moved the key placement up top so that it's fully accessible, and without the key, you can't remove the battery. You can still ride the bikes without the key, so that's something to be known. If you think you can pull the key and it's not going to get stolen, just know you can still turn it on and ride it without the key in it. You just can't remove the battery without the key.
That was one of my complaints about the Lectric 2.0, and it's on the 3.0 too, but the key placement is like underneath where the pedals go.
Yeah.
And that drove me crazy because Chris would have to...
Come on over here. Let's flip this around and we'll show him.
Okay.
So this is a key, now that you see that. It goes right here on the side, and we'll just hang it gently just so you can see where it's at. But in order to remove the actual battery, you have to put the key in, you turn it, then you pop this little button right here and it'll fall out. But if you put the key, we'll go ahead and lock it back up. It stays in place, so you don't have to drive with the key in it. Good upgrade, love it. All right, let's talk about Martha's pedals. I'll let you guess who wrote on the box. Bet it wasn't me.
I was going to say, you have very nice handwriting, Mr. Peters.
Sure I don't.
No, I did that.
One of the things we mentioned is that there is a quick release on the pedals, and they've also got it Air Force proof. I would say Army proof, but I don't want to insult y'all. So you got an L for left right here, and then you got an L for left. You got an L for left right there. So all you have to do is pull the little piece forward. You have to push pretty hard to get these in. You want to make sure it's pushed all the way forward, otherwise it'll pop back out. You have to be careful. So push it forward, it's in, now it won't come out. In order to pop it out, that's it. Getting them in the first time is a little, there we go, a little finicky. There you go.
And it's the first time we're putting these in there. They were in the package still.
Well, we wanted to give you kind of a review of the bike with our opinion as we're building it, because honestly, if it's not our initial reaction in us playing with it and seeing how it goes together, it's not genuine. I don't want to have a staged video that's like, here, these are beautiful, they're wonderful. I want you to see the reality. I had to film a fumble with that a little bit, but everything so far has been really easy. The bike seat, super simple adjustment. Oh, this is Martha's. I better leave that way down. So you just fold it over, make sure it's nice and tight. You want to come stand next to it and I'll set your seat height. And about there. Might as well left it all the way down. Miss Fun Sized.
So for my height, I decided to go with the step-thru because fun sized.
Here, show them what here, back the bike up a little bit and then show them exactly what that looks like for you.
So I'm just going to say, I love the kickstand. It's actually a pretty beefy kickstand.
That was our biggest complaint about our boogie bikes. The kickstand was terrible. It didn't work. So, all right, learn them.
Okay, step-thru.
Tell them, how tall are you?
5'6" on a good day.
And that's not with heels, y'all. That's just regular. So what do you think? I mean, you've obviously ridden this brand and this style, but not this bike. Tell them what you think about the bike and all.
A lot of the features I love about the bike, it's a regular bike size. I love the step-thru. I love the beefiness of it. They've changed the throttle, so it's the button throttle over here instead of the thumb throttle instead of turning it. And I love that they don't fold in half.
Now, talk about that. If you have a toy hauler and you stick it in the back, this thing's going to take up a lot of space. This is like a little baby motorcycle.
Yeah, but if you're in a toy hauler, you have all them tie downs, so it's kind of made for those too.
But not folding is something to consider if you decide you want a big 26-inch tire, 4-inch wide mountain bike. This is a great option. It's awesome, but it also requires a really big rack because of its size. And speaking of rack, it does have one on the back. Comes with it from the factory, comes with mud guards. So right here is the thumb throttle that Martha's talking about. So no more rotary, just this. And then the headlamp.
Yeah, it's a nice big size headlamp.
It also has reflectors too. So even if you lost power, you still are gonna have the reflectors both in the tires, front and back. So that's really nice. It has the yellow ones in the pedals.
And it has the Shimano parts on here, so you can shift and just not even use the power on there. That's one of the things we love about electric or electric type bicycles, is that you can still get in a good exercise. That's why we chose the mountain bikes. And we're not going to go with the baskets. And the reason why is we don't need them. I have like a little bicycle cover that you're going to see on here, little bike bag. But we just want to go a little more simplistic and be able to go on a lot of adventures.
Speaking of adventures, let's go for a ride. So we've done circles. We've rode the bikes again, as we said, again.
Yeah, we went all over the campground, and I did my best following Chris with the camera, but my wrist has been acting up, so I apologize.
You got a lot of footage of Martha and not so much of me, but you know, I could say that this is the second time we've rode the XPeaks, not these exact ones, because as Martha mentioned early on in the video, we rode them at RV Unplugged, and we were really impressed with them, and nothing has changed. I'm still extremely impressed. This is our third e-bike, right? 2.0. Boogie bike, and now the XPeaks. This is by far my favorite one, no doubt about it.
I agree, 100%. They're a lot of fun, taking them off-road a little bit around the campground, and it's very adventurous. So I'm excited to take this on the road and just see where we go with them.
One thing we did point out early in this video is be careful of the handlebars in the back of your trailer. So if you're towing this behind you on a fifth wheel, make sure you have the clearance. Make sure you have a hitch that supports the weight of the e-bikes. These are true off-road, and they are robust. You want to make sure that you have the right setup to support these so you don't lose them on the freeway.
So they are a little heavy. Take the battery, take any electric bike that you can take a battery out, take them out before you transport them on the back of your rig.
And I'm gonna play with these. We're gonna go beat the heck out of them off road. We're gonna take them like to Lake Louisa and some of the state parks and see, what we can do on a mountain bike trail, see how they are, and we'll report back how they play out there. We're gonna take them to Alaska.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that because that's the last frontier. I'm from there, Chris was stationed there, so there's definitely a lot of trails we can go on there and show you.
Absolutely. So if you're interested in the XPeak, we've got a coupon code for that.
Yep,
right?
I'll link all that down below in the description and in the comments.
And the products that we showed today, we're not sponsored by any of them. They are on our Amazon store, which is an affiliate. We appreciate the support. If you decide that you want any of the things we showed you, if you have questions about them, reach out to us, let us know. But if you want the awesome merch, where do they go?
Venturesomecouple.com.
That's right. We got a merch store. All proceeds from our military shirts go to Soldier's Heart.
Yeah, not just the Red Friday. So we have a lot more. You're going to have to go check it out.
We got veteran shirts now.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for watching the video.
Don't forget, like and subscribe and ring that little bell.
What about the thumbs up?
Like.
Thumb.
Thumb.
Thumb up.
Ring the bell.
And if you didn't like the video, hit thumbs down twice.
Absolutely. That's the best thing to do.
Enjoy every moment, y'all.